And there is another, as Yoda would say. It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. And I know exactly what to present. And even when I played this part of the case for the first time, I knew exactly what to present. And I felt really proud that I knew. I was very happy to get it right so immediately, because I had been thinking about that for a while. The real murder weapon. Actually, I don't remember, though. Am I supposed to present... I probably shouldn't present the trophy, because it doesn't have the knife on it anymore. I should present the picture. There you go. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! Everybody's doing a lot of yelling. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Hell yeah, boy. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding? Look at that broken-ass knife. That's a broken knife. So yeah, he had just received that from the ceremony, so he had it with him. He's the one who had the weapon. Joe Dark wouldn't have had one. Now, that doesn't necessarily automatically mean he was going to be the one doing the stabbing, because he could have lost it. Dark could have taken it from him when Emma couldn't see what was going on. However, it does mean he's the one who had a knife. Why would he? If he's just chasing down an unarmed suspect, why would he be brandishing a knife? Why would he rip it off of the trophy? You know, that's suspicious. As an award, he was given this broken shield and a broken knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. That's not a good thing to do. This broken knife was the only weapon he had. Yeah, but you see, it's not immediately dangerous, though. Like, I don't know if he would generally do that. Maybe that's supposed to be normal, but I see it as kind of weird that he would do that. Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. Again, not necessarily, but there is something like that. Not necessarily that, because we know Marshall died and Joe Dark was arrested. But I have been hypothesizing that their positions may have been reversed in that instance. Because Emma couldn't see shit. But the prosecutor was the one who died. Exactly. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Who is it? Alright. I remember now. I remember everything. So there was something else that she just did not remember. Not a lie, just foggy memory from a traumatic incident in the dark. The one with that picture scribbled on the back? That one, yeah. The Blue Booger. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. This part is really weird, too. I'm actually experiencing this for the second time, and I'm still confused. Like, I don't know why I was... Like, they're surprised. Like, who the fuck was I supposed to assume drew it? Why would I think that somebody else drew the picture that's on the second half of the list? That's really weird. Like, why would I not think that she drew it? Who else would have? So that's really weird that they're surprised by that. Even on my second time through, I still don't understand why that's a surprise. If we added this to the witness's testimony. Alright, what do you remember? First, the knife mix-up, and now the Blue Badger. This should be interesting. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them, like Meekins rushing somebody with a knife. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. That's actually terrifying. Flash of lightning and you just see the Blue Badger's face. Especially this part. He wasn't in the room. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He was outside the window, looming over you like the fucking Satan figure that he is. Blue Badger probably did it. Blue Badger's going to become the main villain of the whole series because he's Satan incarnate. You see that thing? It's terrifying. That music? That is the music of the beast. Then there's that. Although, really, what she drew is just a generic jester design, you know. And so is the Blue Badger's head shape. So it didn't have to specifically be that, but we did see the Blue Badger doll in that one room, but that's something else entirely. But anyway, Lana's back. She seems worried about what we're pursuing right now. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come to this far. Yeah, we've been going for a while now. I specifically remember, actually, in my first playthrough, this was around the 40-minute mark. Right now I'm at the 31-minute mark, so I'm almost like 10 minutes faster this time around, just because I'm kind of speeding through it, because I've already done it. So, I'll press that even though it seems irrelevant. That's probably the one that I need to press. That man you think is Joe Dark, but you don't actually know. And if I had to guess, I would actually say it was probably Neil Marshall. Power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you... Yeah, I panicked and rushed. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall, question mark. She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. I mean, if you were a little kid in that situation, you would think so. One is the prosecutor guy, and one is the suspected serial killer. I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was I've got to help Mr. Marshall. And you knocked him away. You knocked away the guy that was probably Marshall. It all happened so fast. And I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. So, Jake, good news. You were right. Your brother did not lose a fight to Joe Dark. He lost a fight to a 14-year-old girl. A little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. Logical reaction. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? And that's when you saw the Blue Badger. That's weird. I even drew a picture of him here. But the head detective of criminal affairs thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. I wonder if I go back to when we first saw the Blue Badger, if she actually mentioned that. I'm not sure if she did. Like, oh, I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Well, she didn't say it was dancing, dude. But yeah, he wasn't in the room. That's even scarier. His shadow. So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. I don't think they're horns. Well, they probably are. He's probably hiding them. That may well be. But what's important is that what caused her to think she saw what she did. And I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this Blue Badger, really? I had no idea the first time I played this. Hadn't even been dreamed up yet she is certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. And I was like, what? And they're like, what? In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us. And then I got to look through my stuff, and I was incredibly confused. But the only thing I could think of that could possibly, maybe the tiniest bit resemble the Blue Badger, would be this thing, because it does have the points, like nothing else in my inventory does. So I chose to present it, even though it was still really confusing and weird. The mysterious Blue Badger was, in fact, this. But that's... what exactly is that? Judge? What? My god. I believe it's some sort of jar. He believes it's some sort of jar. It's not just a jar, apparently. It's just a plain jar. Yeah, oh, now it is a plain jar. Make up your mind, man. Change our viewpoint. Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. So yeah, you gotta angle it to make it look like the Blue Badger. This is also the part where I realized I could use the D-pad for this, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that, because the touchscreen is small as shit, and it's really annoying. So, yeah, it's something like that. So it looks like the Blue Badger. Well, is this a miracle or what? That is pretty crazy. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. It can't be. Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? I didn't know the answer to this question either, because it really doesn't change the location. It's still the same room. It doesn't change the murder weapon, and it doesn't change the murderer. But I said location because that made the most sense, even though none of them really did, which is basically all of my answers in this whole trial. But it actually does make sense as they explain it, but it was just not immediately obvious. Not only that, but she saw it at a very specific angle. Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gans. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room. See, that's the thing. When I thought, like, different location, I thought it meant different room. Those two offices are the same room, you know? You don't have to call them different offices. They're just different desks in the same office. It's confusing wording. So it happened on the other side of the room. There's no reason. But he did do it. So there had to be a reason. Hell yeah. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. See, that's why I make I think I talked about that before. That's why I make assumptions all the time in this game, because that's literally what Mia taught you to do. To assume something is true and then try to find the evidence from there, rather than trying to figure out what is true. That's why I assume things all the time. It's too late to quit now, though. Please, recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. And that is the relation to case 3 with, Hammer falling onto the thing. When she pushed him and he fell onto the thing, the spiky thing. Yeah. The man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife. He would have to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the Prosecutor's Award. So the Prosecutor's Award was not the murder weapon, but it was what was being wielded there, and it was wielded by Neil Marshall. And Emma seems to have been the one who killed him. So that's another parallel to case 4 with, not Gumshoe, what the hell? Edgeworth with his dilemma when he was a kid. But he didn't do it, and it seems like Emma might have done this. There was also the handprint we found on the leather. Emma's handprint? When I first saw that leather cloth, I said it might have been part of Marshall's clothes, and if that's the case, her handprint is on it. Another possibility. Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Yeah, I don't want to accuse her. If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually prosecutor Neil Marshall. Yep, that's what happened. And that also means Neil Marshall was just going to stab a dude, so we know there's more going on there. I feel like it's what I originally said, him somehow being involved with Gant, and them trying to, like, set up Dark somehow, even if he was the serial killer, trying to get him for something else, too. Because, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot going on here. I don't know all the details. For now, it seems like Emma pushed him. Even if he ended up being a bad guy, that's still, you know, terrible and traumatic for her if she did do that. Yeah. Thud. She faints. Oops. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life. And then proved so with her own testimony. But let's clarify again, just like I was talking about in Case 4. Don't you guys get your stupid asses started about this being murder, because it's fucking not, and she's not responsible for any crimes. So don't even go there. But that's another reason Lana was trying to hide shit, to protect her sister. That's why they moved the body. No, he did not. How can you think it was Emma? Well, again, no crime. Unless this justice system is even more fucked up than I thought. It's not a crime. It's an accident. It is what it is. Which is a stupid saying, but I said it. Yeah, you did. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, you have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I also did bring that up a while ago. Maybe Emma did it, and I said that that would be funny, because I didn't think it would actually be the case, but it seems like it very well could be. I'm still open. I'm never going to accept something as complete certainty, except that Gant is the villain, because that's been obvious. But other than that, I'm still going to be open to things. You never know until the case is over, really. Until we're at the very end. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Huh. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. Finally getting back to the vase and the written thing that's on it. And that also relates back to Case 2, when Mia wrote Maya's name on the thing. On the paper. Somebody wrote their killer's name here. Maybe. We thought that was the killer's name in Case 2, or at least they did, and it was not. So this, whoever's name is on here, might not be the killer either, it's just a name. Yup, is in the evidence. We finally get to address that. We brought up, excuse me, burp, the vase itself, and now we get to bring up the writing on it, the blood. I'm just trying to get to the truth. Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. Thank you, Edgeworth. We gotta do what we gotta do. We have to get to the bottom of it. We gotta find out all the details, and whoever that proves guilty, it proves guilty. So here we go again with this thing. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before. Oh, that's right. This is the thing I'm most disappointed that I lost my reaction to. I pull out the fucking vase, and they all think that it's the blue badger. and then I went on a fucking tirade about how they're all retarded, and nobody can ever tell me these characters aren't stupid, because I'll direct them back to this, and you cannot blame me for ever being stupid, because they're worse, and oh my god, can you believe it? I was so mad. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. Yeah. Everyone's stupid. Oh, and actually, re-experiencing it is actually a little bit upsetting again. It's getting me a little bit heated because it's so ridiculous. But yeah, we got some writing. Someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. There is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left of him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. Alright, I don't really know how that works, but I'll believe you. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. So yeah, when I did this the first time, I tried my best to get it to spell Gant, but it just doesn't. It says Emma. This is clearly an E. There's clearly an A over there. So that's just how it is. Kind of a douchey thing for Marshall to do. It clearly wasn't like a fucking murder that she did on purpose. Pretty douchey for him to do that. Although, it's also possible that he didn't do it and it was like written later by Gant or something to frame her somehow or something. I don't know about all that. I still don't... I'm not going to fully accept that Emma is the one who did it because I don't know if the game would go there. I don't know if they would have this innocent young girl have accidentally murdered this man. I don't know if they're going to do that. But it does say Emma. We know that she pushed him. But there's still several parts left of the trial, so, I mean... We gotta find out all the details, but they might not change the fact that Emma did it. We know Gant is guilty of some shit. I feel like Neil Marshall is, too. But this might be accurate. Emma might have still done this. Of course, on accident, but it'd just still be terribly traumatic for her. It was Emma Skye. Shit. Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you. You again. Because I don't know, I feel like he's just like the ultimate villain of everything. I feel like he's just done a shit ton of bad stuff. What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yeah, but he was still a serial killer. Probably, I think. He probably did those other murders. No, he probably did those other murders. He just didn't do the last one. He did 5 out of 6. And he didn't forge it. His spine just snapped or something. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. And then Gant fucking joins the idiot club. When we're determining if he was an innocent man, as you said, whether or not he was a serial murderer is not important. Kill yourself, please. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Last time I checked, serial killing was against the law, you fucking Oompa Loompa. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. That's retarded. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot... It can. I've denied it. I just did. Why don't you go for a swim, underwater, and never come back up? Pieces of shit. Now the crowd's all in a fucking tizzy again. We gotta keep those guys under control. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. This episode might only be like 10 minutes long. And there we go. That is the end of my... Or I might just make it 2 episodes. I might... This is like a 50-minute recording. I might make them like 25 minutes each, just so we can only have these 2 episodes that were not blind, and then we can get back to the blind, because from here on out, I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm glad to be back caught up to where I was. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.